Edmonton Elks defensive back Tyrell Ford with me. Let's start with NFL interest at first with you because there's a lot of people that thought that you were going to parlay your CFL All-Star season, 7 interceptions, into an NFL contract. How close was that to coming to fruition?
Yeah. So obviously I had a couple workouts, and all my workouts went pretty well. So I was feeling pretty good about it. And I know the team that liked me the most, everybody was probably the Colts. They really liked me. But at the end of the day, there was a couple teams that offered, but none of them were offering guaranteed money or signing bonus, and so it was kind of like I don't want to miss out on another year. And take that chance when I can come back to the CFL, and it's a good thing. It's a household name, and it's good football. It's probably honestly more exciting because it's 3 down, so I feel like I'm more involved down here, anyways. So yeah,
What NFL teams offered you contracts?
I'm pretty sure it was the Colts, and then um, was it? Because I had to work out. It wasn't the Bills. I'm trying to remember the teams. I don't remember the teams. It wasn't the Steelers. There was another team. It was the Colts, Steelers, and Bills. There's another team I worked out for, and I think they offered. I just don't remember the team.
Gotcha. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So you forego going to the NFL with a couple of contract offers to stay in the CFL. There were teams after you up here. You end up signing in Edmonton, blowing up the defensive back market, $230,000 in hard money. Who else was in the mix and trying to get you to come?
Yeah. So it was Winnipeg, Hamilton, I think Calgary, and then Edmonton. So it was a good group. Ultimately, Tre was on Edmonton, so that kind of played a big factor. And they obviously offered the most, so I ended up.
Made it simple.
Yeah, it was easy decision.
Could you have envisioned yourself going to another team, let's say, if the financial aspect was exactly the same, or was the pull to rejoin your brother too strong?
Well, again, at the end of the day, like football, you can't really play it forever, and so you kind of doing what you can to set yourself up for the future. Um, and like if a team would have came out with a crazy offer like 280 or something, or even 250, I probably would have went there instead. But I mean, none of the teams really got to that point, and so it kind of is what it is. But yeah.
What's it like to rejoin with your brother? And in my mind, and you don't have to say this, but it's kind of similar to when you went to Waterloo, right? You guys were trying to build a program there, and the Elks are trying to get back to the winning ways that a lot of people know that franchise has in their history. Do you
Mhm.
feel like it's similar?
Yeah. So it's actually I've had this conversation a couple times today, but it's actually funny because it was in high school. Our high school team before we got there didn't win for 2 years. We turned that whole program around, won 4 championships in 5 years. And then it was kind of the same thing at Waterloo. You go in, our team didn't win for 2 years. Went there, didn't turn it around as great, but we made it to the playoffs. I think 3 or 4 times or something like that. So it was better. And now go to Edmonton. It's kind of the same situation. Hopefully, it's the same result. Where we turn it around and get everything going. And then as far as like playing with Tre, kind of just it feels normal. I played with him my whole life, and it's it just feels comfortable, like football. Like it's normal for me because I played with him my whole life, right? So when you're off in these different places, it's not that football, I guess, necessarily feels different, but it's like after football, you go home and I'm hanging out with him, hanging out with my nieces and stuff like that. It's just that side of the football is way better, like traveling and everything. But yeah,
Was it odd in a way to go against him in a real
yeah,
live game?
yeah. I don't know why I was so nervous when I played Edmonton. I don't know. Like, I didn't play horrible or anything. I mean, I got beat on a flea flicker, but that's just life. But it was like I was way more nervous when I came to Edmonton to play against Tre than when Edmonton came to us and they had Bethel Thompson. Like it was just like two different complete feelings. It was like there was 2 games I was real nervous for. It was the game against Tre and then the game in the Grey Cup. Those two like it held the same weight to me. It was weird, but
Were you nervous playing against Trey because of what he can do in the open field?
um, I don't think so. I just think it was again. If I messed up, I would have heard about it for like my life. So I think it was more that.
Did you catch passes from him back in high school?
Yeah, I was actually. That's another conversation I had today. I still play receiver for him to this day, like in the off season and stuff. And they even made me call him earlier because they didn't believe me. But I was telling people I'm better. I'm a better receiver than I am DB. Really, I think if I was a receiver, I'd probably have again. I told him 2,000 yards, and then I called Tre, and Tre's like he might have 2,500. So I don't know. I think I'm a better receiver than DB, but it's just how the cards unfolded.
Have you been talking to Jordan Maximic about getting some reps on offense?
No, no, not yet. We'll see how it goes closer to camp. But I think Tre's got to put the word in so they believe him, and then I'll come out, prove him right, and then you know.
That makes sense.
But then
Let
at
you
that
go.
point, if I'm gonna play receiver, then we got to start. We got to renegotiate the contract. If I'm playing both ways, got to get paid to play both ways.
My man, that's smart. Could be like the CFL version of Travis Hunter.
Yep.
It's
Yeah,
possible.
could be. He'll probably be more like me. He was probably looking up to me back when I was younger. I'm a little older.
You know, some people in the football world might call Travis Hunter a superstar. Your general manager, Ed Hervey, doesn't see any superstars in the CFL. How do you see it?
Um, Honestly, they don't. However he sees it, he sees it. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, right? If they don't think I'm a superstar, I don't. That don't matter to me. I don't. If you think I'm a superstar or not, it don't matter to me. I'm just a football player. I'm going to do my job at the end of the day, and yeah,
What do
that's
you
it.
think of the roster remake that Edmonton went through? You were obviously a part of it, but bringing in a bunch of high caliber, high quality free agents, Americans, yes, but Canadians. Like the Elks could legitimately start 10 high quality Canadians.
Yeah, I think the Canadian talent is really important. It makes us really flexible in what we want to do. Because if we got 10 great Canadians, we only want to play 7, we can bring in more American guys or whatever the case is. But it just lets us do so much. Like we're gonna have Mechie at safety, me at corner. Like I just feel like there's not a lot of teams with 2 Canadian DBs, so it's like it just gives us so much flexibility on the team to do whatever we want, and I think it's definitely gonna be very beneficial.
Do you think that you have the ability to play into that short side, the boundary spot?
Honestly, I think I can play anywhere. Again, I think I can play receiver. So, as far as playing boundary or half, whatever the case is, I think I can honestly do it all. At the end of the day, you're still just covering somebody. It's not really too crazy hard, I guess. As long as you're faster than them, you're in a pretty good spot. But yeah, I think I can play anywhere.
Who is the toughest matchup in the league for you one on one as a receiver?
I would probably say, based off last year, the toughest guy was probably Tim White. Obviously, he's a good athlete, good receiver. But I think it was also the way Hamilton attacked me. They brought everybody into the box, and it was a true one-on-one because I wasn't getting help. So it was a true one-on-one, and there's no pressure. There's no, and obviously I'm trying to like read. I know the ball's coming to me, but I'm trying to read like what the concept's going to be because they're doing play action to the other side, and I'm like, okay, play action to the other side is probably going to be a dig or a post to like go with the play action, and it was like he'd like take 2 steps on a post and then do an out, and I'm like, oh shoot. And so yeah, he had a good game. I mean, I still didn't give up any touchdowns, and I think I went back and calculated it was like they were like 4 for 9 or something on targets, which I was like still is respectable, I guess. But yeah, he definitely gave me the best work over the whole year.
You left Winnipeg. You're in Edmonton now. Do you view the Bombers as they're the team to beat in the West?
um Honestly, I haven't really looked that far into it yet, really. Kind of just trying to settle in Edmonton and kind of learn about my teammates. We've been having meetings and stuff, so learn about them and how our team's going to gel together. But obviously, yeah, Winnipeg's a good football team, and we're going to have to beat them at the end of the day. So,
What's it going to be like for you making that transition to Edmonton? You know, your whole pro career outside of the time in Green Bay has been spent in Winnipeg, new city. Is it any different for you or just football?
I mean, at the end of the day, it is just football. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I liked Winnipeg. Even like my little apartment I had in Winnipeg was nice, and I feel like I knew everything. Now you're trying to learn everything over in the city. Like I was supposed to get an apartment the other day, but it wasn't what I thought it was. Then I had to back out. I lost my security deposit and everything, so it was a hectic time. But at the end of the day, it is just football. Especially once the season starts up, I think it'll be a little bit easier.
Can Edmonton, let's say, surprise some people this year?
Yeah, I think they're gonna be. I think we're gonna be really good. We brought in a lot of guys. We brought in a lot of coaches. I mean, the only way I see it really is us being successful. But unless I'm missing something, I don't know. So we'll see. Just like York, I think York's going to be good this year. They're bringing in a lot of guys.
True.
Got
Keegan Hall transferred there from Mac.
watch out for those guys. Yeah.
You know, while you're talking youth sports, Taylor Elgersma getting a lot of hype.
hmm
How do you think having a quarterback who gets an NFL opportunity, and you know what your brother has done as well, really drive home in people's minds that U Sports produces elite, high quality athletes that can play NFL, CFL, and be all stars.
Yeah, I mean, I think they do. I think at the end of the day, though, it's just about getting the opportunity to do so. I feel like a lot of guys when they come out of university, like in the U Sports or whatever, it's like, okay, we're gonna look for guys that can contribute a lot on special teams, and it's like, yeah, but there's more to that. They don't just contribute. Like I think I could have played my first year as a starting corner, and I probably would have played just as well as I did. So I think a lot of it is just it's not the players themselves; it's just getting the opportunity to go out there and actually do it. So
Does having the quarterbacks, just because they get so much shine, really help push that idea forward or bust up that narrative?
um, I would say push it forward. I think obviously quarterback's the most important position, and having a guy coming out of U Sports that can go out there and compete. Like I'm pretty sure he was at it was the Senior Bowl or
That's right.
something, and he did really well there and everything and turned some heads. So it's like obviously these Canadian guys can play football, so it's just getting in front of the right people and obviously the opportunity. And
Did you play against him at all?
I did play against Hillel Grisma, my boy. I picked him off.
What year was that?
It was I think it was my last year. I think he was maybe in his second year or something, but they had a receiver. I think his name was Ente something, and he ran like a comeback, and he kind of like he was reading it, came back to the comeback late. I picked it off, and then
In Battle of Waterloo?
yeah, it was in Laurier though. But yeah, I don't remember the year, but he might remember it. I don't know. I do.
The Warriors won, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I don't remember. I think so though.
It's a long time ago. We got to fact check.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting old. 27.